Hey, welcome. You read the title, and yup, 25 decks day one. Now, real quick, this is blurred because if you're watching this early, you're either a member or you're watching this after the release of Mega Rising. But if you're a member, I don't want to spoil you, especially if you're trying to not be spoiled by any of the new cards. So quickly click out, and don't worry, you'll see this when this re-uploads with the new YouTube feature to then publish after the release of Mega Rising. With that being said, everyone else that's watching this, get ready. 25 decks day one, starting with Mega Pinsir. All right, so the first deck is Mega Pinsir, and this is a 170 HP Mega Pokemon that if you lose the game. 3 energy attack, 2 of them being grass, 1 being colorless. We're running double Pichu because what we want to do is ramp our Mega Pinsir. Get this guy going by turn 2, especially if we're going second. And also, if that's not the case, not to worry, let's run an Oricorio because now we have something to wall potential EXs, including Mega EXs. I think this is a fantastic idea. I'm also slightly biased. Another card that we're running is Leaf Cape to take our Mega Pinsir up to, 200 HP, which is insane. We have PCL to recover 30, as well as double Ericas to recover 50. So like PCL would be more for Oricorio, and then Erica would be for your Mega Pinsir. We have Alicia to guarantee the Pichu draws, double Wills to help us guarantee that heads to deal 150, and then of course Cyrus. In fact, I think these decks are all going to be 19 cards because I am going to include a Cyrus in almost, if not every single deck, especially with Mega Pokemon. All you got to do is chip one of them, and then that's it. Cyrus wins you the game. Are you kidding me? It's going to be cracked. So yeah, the first deck on this list is Mega Pinsir. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. All right, next up is Whimsicott EX, and this is the Pokemon at 140 HP, but don't worry, it gets better. This has the move Grass Knot, 40 damage, 40 plus, it's the base, and this attack does 30 more damage for each energy in your opponent's active Pokemon's retreat cost, okay? So it really just depends. I think a base is going to be 70 damage unless they have free retreat, and or up to 100 damage. Now, the thing I said don't worry about is the HP, because we're also running double Lilligants. These are all stage 1s. So if we have double Lilligants that can stack, our Whimsicott goes up to 180. If we Leaf Cape it on top of that, it goes up to 210 HP as a stage 1. We're also running a Celebi that can go all the way up to 200 HP itself. That, I mean, come on guys, it's Celebi. Of course I'm going to play Celebi, right? Other cards worth noting is May here. I think May could be very valuable to help you find those stage 1s, especially if you're lacking the second or first Lilligant to boost your HP. This can very much help you do that, especially comboing this with your Pokeballs. But yeah, pretty much everything is especially comboing it with your Pokeballs. And the rest of the cards are like Licia, Cyrus, like I said, and Erica. Nothing too crazy here. Whimsicott EX day 1. Next up is Rapidash EX day 1, 150, a stage 1, 3 fire energy, sprinting flare for 110 damage, and you snipe something on the bench for 20. I mean, it's not crazy good, but it's also not terrible. It is a stage 1. And with that being said, I think running a Magby to help you ramp quicker is very helpful, but also a Turtonator because this counters Oricorios. But then on top of countering Oricorios, you can use something like Keyaway turn 1, and then turn 2, maybe Elemental switches double into your Rapidash to then start slamming your opponents with 110 damage and then sniping them for 20. Here's the full deck list. We have a Lyra as well to help us pivot out our Turtonator if we're starting with it, and a Red to turn that damage all the way up to 130 if we need to, as well as a double Cyrus because let's just say first turn we do 130 with our Rapidash and then 20 something on the bench. Well, if that Pokemon is something with less than 100 HP, we can Cyrus that Pokemon, do the remaining 20 damage to the Pokemon that we just hit 130 for, assuming they get knocked out and are an EX Pokemon, and we could just win the game in 2 turns. Oh my god, what a tongue twister. But yeah, outside of that specific scenario, I think Rapidash EX might be a little difficult to navigate and pilot, but I think it could be pretty good. Next up is day 1 Blaziken EX, and this Pokemon has a 210 HP Mega Blaziken EX for 2 fire energy, deals 140 because you're also burning. It's 120 plus the burn, and you discard a fire energy. That kind of stinks, but it's not too bad because we're also running the non-EX Blaziken that allows you to just one-shot Oricorios. We have 2 baby Pokemon to help us ramp, being Magby, but also Cleffa that helps us find our Blazikens. I think this is going to be extremely valuable. On top of that, we have the May to help us find our Pokemon to evolve. Double Lily, because this is a stage 2 Pokemon that we can continually heal over and over again and just keep it on the board to smack our opponents for 140 back to back, as well as a red to go all the way up to 160. And to tie it all off, we have Flame Patch in case we need to get that second Blaziken online and it doesn't even have a single energy attached to it, to its name. This Flame Patch can come in handy and take a Blaziken or a Mega Blaziken EX from 0 energy to at least 2. Next up is Mega Gyarados, and we're actually only running 1 Mega Gyarados, right? The deals 140, mills your opponent's deck because of Magikarp here for 3 energy, 2 water, 1 colorless. It has the move Waterfall Evolution, and it says put a random card from your deck that evolves from this Pokemon onto this Pokemon to evolve it. Now it's random, so you're really going to have to leverage your communication to your advantage here. And what I mean by that is if you have Mega Gyarados EX in your hand, well, communication it and send it back to hopefully get the Gyarados and not the Mega Gyarados. And that way, when you use Waterfall Evolution, you're guaranteed to evolve into this guy. But even if you don't, not to worry, you just go into this guy, it still mills your opponent's deck, and it's a decent Oricorio counter. We have Mantike here to help you ramp your Magikarp Gyarados online. If you're going second, by turn 2, you can have 3 energy and just literally evolve into your Mega or your regular Gyarados. We also have double Misty because, come on now, we're bringing Misty back. We have Lycia because all our basics are under 50 HP, which is kind of the downside of this deck. If your opponent is running 1 Jirachi, sayonara, you're done. Maybe don't play this for the 9 consecutive wins because that's all they need to do is play literally 1 Jirachi and you lose. We have double Iridas, a Cyrus, and 2 Capes, and that is your Mega Gyarados deck on day 1. Next up is the Greninja EX deck list, and please be kind to me. Don't yell at me in the comments. It's literally Suicune Greninja. We just did not include the Giratina because I'm like, we don't really need Giratina. But the idea is you don't even really need to get your Suicune online. You could just literally have your Suicune up there to just draw for you. On top of that, we have May. So once you get your May, you can literally find your evolutions that you're looking for, go into Greninja EX, and then you could pivot right into the Greninja EX with the ability, if you're not familiar, Shifting Stream. Once during your turn, you may switch your active water Pokemon with one of your bench. This is why we don't have Giratina. You go in there, you smack them for 100, and if they're running Oricorio, we have the non-EX Greninja. I think a lot of people are going to still be pretty upset with the Greninja and Suicune decks. We have Elemental Switch because if we are switching things out with the ability, we can just take the energy from the other Pokemon that was active and then move it to our new active and almost always guarantee we have 2 energy to attack that turn. Double Cyrus, a Cape, a red card, and yeah, that's the deck. Greninja EX day 1. Next up is Jolteon EX, and this is spicy. Evolution EV Box deck players, rejoice, unite, because this is phenomenal. Electromagnetic Wall. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, whenever your opponent attaches an energy from their energy zone to one of their Pokemon, do 20 damage to that Pokemon. Giratina, Darkrai. Never heard of them, right? Well, I did hear of them, and that's why Jolteon EX exists. I think this is pretty awesome, but not as awesome as this brand new Eevee, you guys. 50 HP, which means Lycia can help you find that card. And it says boosted evolution. As long as this Pokemon is in the active spot, it can evolve during your first turn or the turn you play it. So you can literally just go right into Jolteon EX going first. And then if your opponent is going second, they have energy acceleration because they're going second, and they just take 20 damage guaranteed. Because of that, we're also running things like Zeraora to help us ramp into our Jolteon, because if they take that 20 damage, well, then we're hitting them for 80 the following turn with Elemental Switch, because that's 100 damage on the board. And then we also have Oricorio to wall their potential EXs. We're running Eevee Max to to help recover as well as deal more damage. We have a Cyrus, we have a Licia, like I said, a May, a Nurse Joy, and a Copycat. I feel like that could be really good in this deck, and that is Jolteon EX day 1. Next up is Mega Ampharos day 1, and it's very similar to the Blaziken, except we're running Oricorio instead of another Oricorio counter in this deck, and the idea is Pichu ramps your Ampharos EX to get it online. If you can get it online, boy, you're doing damage. You're doing crazy. I'm very adamant that this is going to be a very good card because of Oricorio. And if you're looking for your Pokemon, well, you have Cleffa here to help you find those Pokemon. We have Red card as well as Red to deal more damage to the active, right? A Cyrus to pull that chipped damaged Pokemon from the bench to deal even more damage. And then double Lily because it's all about sustain. We just need one of our Megas online, and we need to just keep it online. That's all we have to do. Also, what I find really cool is Mareep is a 70 HP Pokemon. Like that's pretty good. That's pretty respectable. But yeah, Mega Ampharos, day 1. Next up is Mega Altaria EX, a day 1 deck with Mega Harmony, can deal up to 130 damage if you have a full bench. And guess what? Our Pokemon, all our Pokemon here, except for Giratina, are 50 HP, which means Alicia guarantees that we can find them. And that way, if we evolve, we can deal up to 130. On top of that, we're running Sylveon EXs to help us draw our cards, as well as having a non-EX Sylveon to help us counter Oricorios. And then, like I said, Giratina EX is in the back because you never know, maybe having this guy go first to deal damage could be very valuable. Like if you have this 130 just from this Pokemon, and then you bring in your Mega Altaria to finish things off with 130, you already lost 2 prize points. Just don't lose anything else and you're good to go. And even if you do lose your Mega Altaria, that's 5 prize points. You lose the whole game at that point, but doesn't matter. Red here to increase the damage up to 150, PCL, a May, Alicia, because I think those are staples, a single Rocky Helmet, because that also technically increases the damage from both your Giratina and your Mega Altaria to 150. And I think that's pretty good for Mega Altaria, especially for day 1. Next up is Indeedee EX. And I'm going to be honest, this is, listen, I'm doing my best. Go count how many videos I uploaded today already. Indeedee EX, watch over. Once during your turn, you may heal 20 damage from your active Pokemon. With all the Mega Pokemon coming in, I just don't think this is going to be that great, to be honest. It's going to be really tough to make this work. So I did my best. We're running with Tapu Lele, a Giratina EX to ramp itself, but then also Galarian Cursola, because if your opponent's running a Mega Pokemon, as long as they don't retreat and if they attack you, flip a coin, you might win the whole game, to be honest. I don't know. That could be something. On top of that, we're running Red card, Silver, a Nurse Joy, a May, a Cyrus, a Leaf. Probably not one of my better decks for day 1, but still did it. Now, speaking of better decks, we have Hitmonchan EX, solo Hitmonchan, 130 to always hit for 50 damage for only 1 energy, which is insane. It also retreats for 1. On top of that, we're running double Skull Fossil Rampardos. I think you guys don't understand. I think this is actually going to be pretty insane. This is going to be so strong. It's going to hit so fast and just hit like a truck. We're also running a Giovanni because since there's no weakness application, a lot of Pokemon are going to be 50 HP or maybe even 60 HP. So giving this the extra Giovanni, you can knock out a lot of basic Pokemon, get that early prize point, which is pretty good. Double rare candy, double lilies for our Rampardos. We're only running 1 Hitmonchan because like you don't really want to. If you lose your first one, all right, Rampardos, come in, handle my light work at that point. We have a May and then a Citrus Berry on top of the Lily to always keep our Rampardos fresh and alive. But yeah, this is definitely a day 1 deck that I'm very excited to try out. Next up is Mega Absol EX, a Pokemon that I have not made it a secret that I really don't think it's good. With that being said, I'm running it with Darkrai for ping. I'm running it with Weavile as well that retreats for free. And the idea behind this is if you have Weavile in the active and you're attacking, well, you can retreat into your Mega Absol if you need to, and then Dawn, one of your Dawns, into your Mega Absol, and then start hitting your opponent for 80, and then discarding their Cyruses. That is the #1 priority. Discard their Cyruses. If you get rid of their Cyruses, you might actually do pretty good with this Pokemon. If you discard one of their Cyruses, assuming that's all they have, I think you might be okay, and Mega Absol might actually be good. On top of that, we have Silver and Red card, and the idea is you could Silver first, and then see their hand. And if they don't have a, what's it called, supporter that you want to get rid of, well, you can just Absol. Sorry, if they do have a supporter you want to get rid of, you can just Absol and get rid of that as well. But if they don't have a supporter you don't want to get rid of, you can red card them after that and then use Absol to then essentially get rid of two. But it gives you a little bit of, maybe you don't want to do that way. I don't know. I feel like it might actually be interchangeable. But yeah, obviously, Silver and Absol, I feel like combo really well with each other. We have a red to take our damage from 80 on these two Pokemon up to 100 if we need to. The ping damage is good. We have a cape here, PCL, like I said, the double dawns, and then a dark pendant as well to just really stop our opponents from having fun or playing the game. Day 1 Mega Absol, baby. Next up is Day 1 Dragalge, which I've already talked about in another video, but assuming you didn't watch that video, Dragalge is a Pokemon like Drud. If you attack it, you get poison. That's essentially it with Draconic Whip, 80 damage for 2 energy. It's a stage 1, and I think this really belongs with the Nihilego deck, as well as potentially a Darkrai for ping. I think that could be pretty good. We also have red card, a leaf to retreat that Darkrai if you start with it, a Guzma, double Cyrus, because with poisoning your opponent's active Pokemon, they're more likely to retreat. And on top of that, we're adding even more damage with Rocky Helmet. I think this might also be a very strong deck, and I'm very excited to try this strategy out. Next up is Melmetal EX, 170 stage 1 with 2 attacks. The first one's 3 energy for 80. The second one is a Metal Arms, and it says 100 damage. However, if you have a Pokemon tool attached, it deals 50 more damage. Well, what if you give it Memory Light? And what if then you use Melton's Amass? Well, then you could ramp much quicker and guarantee 150 from this Pokemon. But let's also throw in something like a non-EX variant to help counter Oricorios potentially, and Skarmory fits that slot. And because of that, we're running, what is that, 1, 2, we're running 6 Pokemon tools in this deck. With that, we also have PCL, Mars for Disruption, a Cyrus, because every deck is going to have Cyrus, and an Adaman. Don't judge me. I feel like Adaman might actually be kind of good in this deck. Who knows? We'll see. Day 1 Melmetal EX. And for our final EX Pokemon, we have Tauros here, 140 basic Pokemon, 90 damage for 2 energy, Wild Tackle. Flip a coin. If tails, this Pokemon also does 30 damage to itself. It kind of stinks, right? It's not great. Oh, you can just eliminate it, send it right back to your hand. Oh, you also have baby Pokemon to help you ramp that much faster. Oh, we're also running Elemental Switch to move those energies around. Oh, we're also running Arceus EX. All right, never mind. Yeah, give me 3 bulls and a god, and I think I might be able to cook something up. So yeah, we have double Illimas, a single leaf in case we have a bad start. We have our Alicia because 3 baby Pokemon, a red and a cape. I don't know, guys. Day 1 cooks. Could be hot garbaggio, could actually be super spicy. You let me know. But that's 15 decks already of each of the EX Pokemon. Now, let me show you some other spicy cards and techs that I'm excited to try day 1. For example, we have Rillaboom here that has the ability Captivating Rhythm that says once during your turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's benched Pokemon to the active spot. You don't have to. They don't choose. You choose. So like their Mega Pokemon are cooked, you guys. Also, if you're going first, Eevee in the active spot, okay, evolve right into your Leafeon. Awesome. Yeah, and then just start Forest Breathing turn 1, which is crazy. You can go right into your Rillaboom or actually your Grookey to start feeding it energy, or you can start feeding your Celebi EX. Let's be honest, guys. I'm a Celebi EX enthusiast. I know in this economy, I'm going to try to bring it back in this economy, because if you get the right coin flips into an opposing Mega, you just win. You just win the game. So I think it could be pretty funny. And also with the Rillaboom, we just guarantee what we draw. We're like, hey, or not draw, what we bring out into the active. So I think this could be a very strong, fun, somewhat competitive Rillaboom deck. And this is my day 1 build. Let me know what you think. And next up is Chandelure Mill. If you don't know, the ability is Slow Seer. Once during your turn, you may discard the top card of your opponent's deck. This stacks. So if you have 2 of them in the active spot, well, you just get to mill your opponent's cards. Like that feels pretty strong, right? And on top of that, we're ramping with Magby, and I thought running this with Eevee and Flareon could be very helpful. However, I literally just realized I put the boosted evolution because I'm on a kick, but maybe you put the one that says, what is it, find a friend, it draws a Pokemon from your deck. That might be better. Maybe. I don't think you actually want to evolve into Flareon turn 1. So I'm just going to leave this on the screen right now, but caveat, you probably don't want to run this, and you want to run the other Eevee, right? I'm just on a kick for that. With that being said, we have double rare candy, a flame patch, an Eevee bag, a red that's needed for your Flareon to just start stomping your opponents, and then a Cyrus to close out games. Next is, again, a spicy deck, super cheesy. This is called the Wailord Tank. And what I mean by that is we have Whale Pump here. For 4 energy, this attack does 10 more damage for each water energy. So if you have 4 water energy, this does a base of, what is that, guys? 100 damage. For 200 HP, that's insane. Now, why is this the tank build, right? Well, we're running double Misty and double Delcatty. You see where I'm going with this? The idea is your first Wailord is just there to tank. You're chilling, you're tanking everything. 200 HP, you guys, these are all non-EX Pokemon, right? Our second Wailord takes the Misty. Flip, get lucky. Takes the second Misty. Flip, get lucky, unlucky, doesn't matter. Okay, play Delcatty. Earn the following turn. Bring Misty back. Do it again. Okay, bring another Delcatty. Do it again. So as long as you're not the unluckiest person ever, you can run 4 Misties in this deck. Get this guy your final one, because again, these are all non-EXs. So if they knock out one, they knock out your Delcatty, and by the time you bring this guy in, I don't know, I can't do that math, right? How much energy, is there a max amount of energy you can have on a Pokemon, right? Like just imagine 20 energy on this guy. It's kind of crazy. I think it's funny. It's a gimmick. I don't think it's crazy good, but I think it could work. We also run a Lyra here and the new heavy helmet. I have the exact helmet in my closet. The heavy helmet tool that says a Pokemon this card is attached to has a retreat cost of at least 3 or more, which we do. Well, we take minus 20 damage from attacks, which again, being already tanky, why not be even tankier? Cooking decks day one, there's nothing like it. Next up is the Aegislash. We already know what this does. This is a plus 30 to Metal and Psychic Pokemon with the ability Cursed Metal. We're running this with Skarmory EX, which I think is pretty good because now our base damage is 100 or up to 130, and we're taking minus 20 every turn. We run the double Jasmines, we run the Steel Aprons, we run the May, the PCL to recover. I think this could be a very strong deck for Aegislash. And if you go into an Oricorio matchup, this guy can also counter Oricorio with the Slicing Blade. Wait a second. I don't think this retreats for 0. I think this is a mistake. It's weak to fire and it retreats for 2. For whatever reason on this website that I'm using to build these decks, Pokemon Meta, they don't have that information. So I just want you guys to be aware. It's not a free retreat, or else that would be kind of busted, right? Let's be honest. Next up is the updated Crimson Zard deck list, where Crimson Storm deals a 200 damage, discard 2 fire energies from this Pokemon, running 2 flame patches to counter that. The idea is you start with Moltres, you ramp these guys. Once you get this guy online, you have double Giovanni, and you one-shot every single Mega Pokemon in the game outside of them wearing a cape or something. I think it's going to be even stronger with May, the new supporter card, because now we're almost guaranteeing that we're finding our stage 2s as long as we have our candies in our hand, and then a Charizard to help us counter, a non-EX Charizard to help us counter Oricorios. But yeah, here's the Crimson Storm Charizard Day 1 Cook. I think it's going to be pretty spicy. Oh boy. Speaking of spice, this next deck is full control running lightning energy, you guys. Let me paint you a picture. You're going second, okay? You start with Eevee and you're active. You evolve right into your Jolteon. You give it an energy. Their basic Pokemon, gone. 60 damage, under 60, they're cooked. All right, let's say that's not the picture. Let's say they're trying to evolve into like a Blaziken EX with a rare candy. Well, introducing Jingling right here that says Jingly Noise 10 damage during your opponent's next turn. They can't play any item cards from their hand. Yeah, they gave us Badoo in this game, you guys, which is crazy. This went over my head. Someone had to like explain like, yo, this is a very strong control card, and I'm a huge fan for it. We also have Oricorio to wall EXs. That's another control variant. We have a Zeraora to then leverage the energy from that Pokemon to then give it to something like, I don't know, maybe our Honchkrow that can come in and deal up to 200 damage if our opponent has 4 Pokemon with abilities, which is kind of crazy. So again, a full-on control deck. I don't know how it's going to be. I think it could be fun. Could be spicy. We're running May, Giovanni, because again, if we need to do a little bit more damage, we can. A Cyrus to close out games, and a Cape. Oh yeah, X speed, because we don't want to lose any of the energy, and then we can really leverage the comboing of X speed into Elemental Switch into something else like Oricorio. Lightning Claw Zeraora, or even this evil Admonition Honchkrow attack. So yeah, all these other Pokemon that need 2 energy. Control deck day 1. Next up is a Hydreigon deck list. And honestly, it's like the Tyranitar deck list, but instead of Tyranitar, it's Hydreigon. And I think it works. We run a Tyro because that's what you want to start with to hit your opponent. And then all the while, you're trying to find your evolutions to evolve into Hydreigon, and you're ping damaging with your Darkrai over and over again. We also have some disruption being silver and red card, a leaf to pull back our Darkrai if we need to. And yeah, a little bit of sustain with PCL, and May to help us find the cards as long as we have rare candies in our hand. I think this is going to be a pretty fun one. I still want to find a way to build this deck with Tyranitar, but I'm not there quite yet. Next up is an updated Guzzlord EX deck, and it's literally the exact same deck list, except now Guzzlord, since it has 4 retreat costs as well as Celesteela, why not throw in the heavy helmet? This thing is going to be kind of... I love how there's like 1 or 2 cards every set that boosts and benefits older meta decks and makes them even better. Not so much for the Suicune Greninja EX build, but like Guzzlord EX, I don't feel bad. This feels pretty cool. This feels also... Can you imagine a Guzzlord wearing a helmet? Like, that's a pretty big helmet, man. Speaking of updated deck lists, number 24, we have an updated Silvally running a Delcatty here, also running Lightning Energy. Delcatty, essentially what it says is if you evolve your Skitty, into your Delcatty, well, then you could find and pick any of your supporters in this deck from your discard pile and put it back into your hand. It helps you counter Mega Absol EX, but then also helps with Silvally. Like if you don't have any supporters in your hand and you needed one and there's a red in your discard pile that you just used, you can bring it back, use it again. I think it's pretty good. Maybe you run it with a different build for Silvally, maybe Rampardos, but I think the Delcatty with the Oricorio to help wall, with Pichu to help ramp, could be very, very good. And finally, the deck that I am most proud of, you guys, the Golurk Cheese that I hinted earlier. Now you're looking at this like, what on earth is he doing here? All right, let me tell you, Golurk is our only basic Pokemon, okay? And it evolves into Golurk for 2 fighting energy. It has the move Heavy Rocket, 60x. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. This attack does 60 damage for each Pokemon with a retreat cost of 3 or more you find there. Shuffle revealed cards back into your deck. Okay, you see what I'm saying here? So we're always guaranteed to start Golurk, and then all we really have to do is find Golurk, you guys. And with that, I'm not even running Pokeballs, no researchers. We're just running double maze and double communication, because once we're able to evolve, that's what we want to do. And if we can get this guy online, dude, you can do up to, what is it, 180 damage max, maybe even 120, right? So a 180 max is hilarious. This cheese is going to be crazy. And the rest of the cards are Pokemon. They're just, you know, fighting Pokemon. They don't need to be fighting, but they're Pokemon that are not basics because we don't want to start with them, but they're all Pokemon with a high retreat cost. But yeah, there you guys have it. 25 day 1 decks that I'm excited to cook and play, but obviously I have to pull the cards first. So let me, I guess, build the decks first and then try to pull the decks and the cards from the packs in the game. But there you guys have it. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe, which is your favorite. And what are you cooking up? Thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Later.